Hello Virgos, here to do your December reading. So much to say, so little time. Want to keep it short. So when I think of the Virgos, I think of my father on the one hand, a union worker and a shop steward. I always admired that he took that on and helped his fellow workers through different disputes with the company. Then on the other side is my brother-in-law. He loves photography. Great dad. Very precise, you know. It's not easy to take a car down to the metal, put it all back together. The other thing I was thinking about with Virgo is the sage plant. That's your plant. Gotta love sage. There's so many varieties, garden varieties. My favorite though, of course, is for cooking. I mean, there's a lot of dishes I won't even start without having sage, like pasta fagioli. I don't know why I thought of this, but I wondered what month would a Virgo be conceived in? I'm terrible at math, but I think it would be December, which is Sage month, Sagittarius season, or Capricorn season. It's those cold months, a little extra time off for the holidays maybe. I want to pick something out to read to you. I like to read to everybody, can't slate you. So I went to the bookshelf, kind of looked around, see what would stand out to me. And A Season in Hell and Illuminations caught my eye, poems by Arthur Rimbaud. And the one I opened to is Delirium 2, Alchemy of the World. I can't read the whole thing to you, it's too long. I kind of like, I don't know, it's a great poem, not surprising. I'll read the beginning and then towards the end there's something really interesting. Now me, the story of one of my imbecilities. For a long time I boasted of knowing all possible landscapes inside out and liked to poke fun at the celebrities of modern painting and poetry. I loved idiotic paintings, door paneling, stage sets, backdrops for acrobats, street signs, popular prints, old-fashioned literature, church Latin, erotic books with terrible spelling, the novels of our grandmothers, fairy tales, little childhood storybooks, old operas, nincompoop refrains, naive rhythms. Then a little further down it says, I invented the colors of the vowels. A, black, E, white, I, red, O, blue, U, green. I thought about that, and for Virgo, the only letter in there, right? Oh, there's two. I is red, O is blue. So they would be your two letters, red and blue. Reminds me of the American flag, right? Okay. Oh yeah, the pieces here that I put up. You might recognize the one. I mean, that's the Hermit. Interesting that would be under your sign. He, of course, he's off on his own, doing his thing, thinking a lot, working problems out. I mean, some of the main characteristics for Virgo is being dedicated, efficient. We're known as dentists and policemen. And then you have the Hermit, and that's about taking your time and, again, being very precise. It's also an introvert and a worrier, not warrior like in war, worrying, like worry. So that's my take on him. Then in the back, that snail with the crown, that's the Knight of Coins, the Knight of Pentacles. This knight is known as having a bit slow of an energy, but at the same time, the one that comes in at the end, one that you can bet on will come through. That sounds like a Virgo to me. All right, enough of that stuff, my BS. Let's roll. Oh my God. What can we get for Virgo? We have is that a 6 or a 9? I guess that's a 6 or a 9. What is that? That's a 6, so that's upright. It only goes up to 6. Right? Yeah. So we have 26 upright. It's upright because odd are in reverse and evens, like this one, are read upright. 26 upright. What else can we get for Virgo today? What does Virgo need to hear? $51 upright. Very good. 2 uprights already. That is 6 upright. Wait. Yeah. 6 upright. 3 uprights. That's amazing. Had a lot of uprights yesterday for Leo. All but one. Maybe we're turning the corner. Maybe the planets are in our favor. Another upright. 7 upright. Wow. You're going to break the record and get all uprights? I don't think I've ever had all uprights. What can we get for Virgo here? Come on, Virgo. Yes, you did. All uprights. 50 upright. I see you have a 50 and a 51. So I have to go to the boxes and see what you have. I have no idea. You know, I put the pieces in the box randomly, then I mix them up, mix the boxes around, start counting from different sides. So, can't wait to see what comes out. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, Virgo, I'm back with your pieces. Check it out. What do you think? If you've been here before, you know I always recommend you take a look first. Forget about any of the meanings. You might guess a couple of these. So, like the Magician's pretty obvious, and the Hermit's back. Your piece came back. Crazy as it is. Out of 79 pieces, the second one landed on the Hermit. So quickly, I'll just tell you what they are. But if you want, you can pause right now and come up with your own ideas. The first one's kind of a giveaway too, right? The Chariot. Yeah, the Chariot's Cancer. Pretty much means what it looks like. Travel maybe, fast movement. You know, momentum. It can also be about balance. Because usually there's 2 horses that need to be controlled, a black and a white. And if there's any downside and you get stranded with your chariot, you know how to fix it. And we go to the Hermit in the middle. We talked about the Hermit quite a bit. About going within. Something's on your mind. Need a little time off on your own to think about something. And then you got the 4 swords. And that's very similar in a way. So that's definitely about thinking, deep thinking. Usually, though, it has something to do with regret or loss. Something pretty heavy. Probably the heaviest thing here. And it could be about worrying. And we talked about worrying before. Maybe we'll clarify later with cards and find out what the problem is there. At least try to. Then we go to the, in the back, the Magician, the rabbit in the hat. It's kind of a cliche way of doing the Magician. It's not really what it's about. It's not that kind of magic, of course. We gotta have a little fun once in a while. Take a lot of liberties as an artist. Depends how I feel that day, that minute. And the Magician's great. I mean, it's one of my favorite. It's Mercury. Mercury's all about the concrete and the conscious mind at the same time. It's also about reason and logic. Could all use some reason and logic. Of course, you know, everything's about balance, right? That's very strong, forward-moving energy. Just like the next piece is, the last piece, the Page of Wands, fire. Talk about fast action, moving quick, new adventures. That's what the Page of Wands is all about. I have to say, this reading pretty clear to me. I can't say they always are. Sometimes I feel like I have to be a magician myself or a detective, figure out what's going on. There's a little back and forth energy, but it's a very powerful energy because you have all 4 elements. You have 3 major arcana, the Chariot, the Hermit, and the Magician. If we just go through them, that'll tell you the story just by what the pieces mean. The Chariot, it's funny, I just watched a movie about these, I think it's called the barbarians, maybe. It's about when the Germanic tribes beat 3 of their legions in a battle. Very interesting. Don't know if I could recommend it, but I kind of enjoy those things. Anyway, they didn't use chariots in that, though. They had horses. Yeah, I wonder why they didn't use chariots. I guess it was too bumpy. Shit. Anyway, to drive a chariot takes a lot of skill. It takes strength. You got to hold those horses back. You have to keep them in control so you don't go off the road with those crazy animals. You have to, one's black in fact, one's white. Talks about balance too. But it's very fast energy. It could be travel, of course. I don't know. I don't feel that here, except the page. It's also energy about moving. Could be messages in travel. That's not the feel. The vibe I get here is there's some back and forth. There's something worrying going on in the background. And you're either going within or you need to go within to figure out how to get past that. It looks like you're successful to me. You don't have a lot of pentacles here. A lot of fast-moving energy, though. So I think you're going to get through this pretty quickly and be on the road to accomplish what you're after or get past the problem. Yeah, because the Hermit, that's time needed alone. And so is the Four of Swords. I don't know, they stand out to me when I look at this spread here. I go by the images too. They really stand out. Let me show you this one a little closer, in case you can't tell. Usually this is like a man, could be a woman though, in a bed. I chose to use a boat. And there's usually 4 swords above the bed, or 1 by their side and 3 above them. And their eyes are closed, very still looking. And there's a lot of different ways of looking at it, but it's definitely about deep thought. And it's a air sign, so it's all about being in one's head. And it usually requires using our heart more to get a better balance. But then the good news comes. You have the Magician. The Magician has all the tools you could need. Earthly tools and spiritual tools. He's the alchemist, can mix up anything, all the right proportions, very creative. It's like you can have a flash too with a magician. You know how to use those flashes and those modern, show magicians. You can do that. You can have that flash where it's in your mind or it's an epiphany and can pull out of any problems you're having. It's all about success, but you have to do the work. It's always about doing the work. Even though there's magic around us, we always have to do the work. We have to do the right thing in our life. If we're acting like jerks, we're not going to get anywhere. So maybe we'll find out when we clarify. I'm thinking of clarifying the Magician too. The 4 swords and the Magician with some cards. I talked about the Page of Wands in the back. Pages are youthful, fiery energy, all of them. But this is Wands, so it's especially fiery. Page of Wands is, in the writer Waite is thought of as, it's mixed with air. Pages are mixed with air. All the court cards are mixed with another element. In this case, it's air, so you have fire and air. And together, that's a really wild combination. I mean, talk about flashes, How do you make a fire bigger? You blow air on it. So they're very, very fiery. A lot of times, this page, probably somebody you know very well. It's not an acquaintance or a friend. Definitely not a stranger. Could be a brother or a schoolmate, actually. So this begins in Aries and goes through to Gemini. With Gemini, you have good communication, very intelligent, a lot of enthusiasm. And this piece, in this case anyway, and in the card, is often about a messenger. So it could be getting a message from somebody in the form of text or letters or whatever, but at the same time, it could mean a message from spirit. It could be an epiphany that the Magician came up with, that flash. So let's clarify. Let's find out what's going on with the Four of Swords. Yeah, let's do the Four of Swords. Again, that's air. And the Magician. I already shuffled, but I'll shuffle a couple more times. There's not much room here. I'm going to use these little cards, Visconti deck. When I look at this spread, that gold really pops out to me. I think the blue behind it makes it even stronger. Well, a card came out already, wow. And it looks like a page. Fonte di Bastoni, Page of Wands. Talk about clarification. That's the Page of Wands back there. So we got 2 Page of Wands. Wow. How are we going to do this? Have to move the camera a little, I guess. 2 Page of Wands. Whew. Okay. Upright too. So with the Page of Wands, our second Page of Wands, and we're talking about the Four of Swords and air and fire, and the page is the last piece here. I would say definitely after we go through all these changes here, go deep within, come out on the other end, bursting with like desire to try new things, explore new plans, maybe new plans about work, ideas about a new business. With the Page of Wands, you definitely would have the courage to do whatever you want. That youthful energy, you know, still believe anything's possible. It's a wonderful thing. The other thing is, I want to talk about this because in the Rimbaud poem, it starts off talking about how he thought he knew everything and made fun of, like, you know, commercial acts, popular artists, popular entertainment. Kind of had the feeling of looking down or just being a know-it-all, you know? And that's a bad place to be. That's a fixed energy, that's a fixed thought. And earth signs have to watch that. They're so stable and so grounded sometimes that they're not open enough and ready to explore like this page here. I think this is excellent for your energy. A lot of the Virgos I know, they've done great, but I'm not sure they've all lived up to their potential because they were more concerned about being stable. And that's great, but to really excel in life, you have to be someone who's willing to take chances. That could be what this is about. And this, you know, this page energy is perfect for that. It's all about people who think with more of a big picture view of things. The only problem with the page is they might run out of this enthusiasm, and we're going to have to work on keeping it alive, keeping that fire stoked. Take some of this page's energy, take some of their courage and faith, and go out and go for it. And if you're feeling bored because we're all kind of restricted these days, this is kind of a push to get out there. Carefully, of course. You're not going to jeopardize your health or anybody around you. It's just more of an energy. Could all happen within, or even within small circles. Could be planning. Let's clarify the Magician. Talked about that. Let's do it. What does Virgo need to know? What do we need to clarify the Magician here? I swear, half the deck came out. I see some swords. I see a knight on a horse. Now they're really mixed up. Why so many are coming out? They're a little hard to shuffle because they're so small. I don't know if you could tell. Card, please. One card for Virgo and the Magician. Alright, we're going to take this one. It's an ace. Asso di Denari, the Ace of Pentacles. That's your ace. Aces are great. Pentacles. Here's the cool thing about this. It's clarifying the Magician. The Magician can bring anything that you want. The Ace is a new start. All aces are new starts. And the Ace of Pentacles, it's not the fastest energy, but it's the most solid. It's like planting a seed in the real world, all about security and stability. Of course, it needs to be nurtured, the seed needs to be watered, time and energy have to go into it, but it has potential to be very rewarding. Often has to do with prosperity. That's a beautiful card. Yeah, seems like things are definitely moving in the right direction. I do want to pull one Moonology card for you. Be fair, because I've been pulling oracle cards for all the signs. I did shuffle already. This is the book. Nice guidebook that comes with it. Has advice. Yeah, I think you'll like it. Okay, again, I shuffled already. I'm going to go for a popper. One card for Virgo. What messages can we bring to Virgo today? What does Virgo need to hear? To clarify. 3 almost came out. I'm going to take one. I have to pick it up off the floor. It is, be bold and make the first move. Be bold and make the first move. Cardinal Moon. I'm going to look this up. Let's see what it says in the book. I think I got to get something here. It doesn't want to stay, so we have to help it out. Come on. Glare, I don't like it. Oh man. Move the camera again. That's all. I like that moon. I hate to cut it off. Okay, hopefully that's better. I gotta look it up in the book. Okay, just saw it. Maybe you want to screenshot this. Hopefully it's clear enough. I'm not going to read everything. Okay, here we go. Now is the time to be bold, bossy even. Take matters into your own hands. Cardinal signs are powerful and self-starting. They're determined and great at organizing. Drawing this card strongly suggests that you're going to need to be all those things to get your ideal resolution or position in the situation you're asking about. This card may challenge you on how strongly you really want something. If you're worrying about a situation, it's a suggestion to be less passive. Instead, take an assertive stance as you steer events where you want them to go. Speak up for what you want. If you're serious about sorting things out, you may need to take the lead in some way, to step up as a leader. I don't see it as a problem for you, Virgo. Attuned to the moon. I'm taking charge of my destiny! Exclamation point. Additional meanings for this card? Be bold and follow your heart and your emotions. It's very important that it says that, your heart and your emotions. Avoid recklessness or moving too fast. I don't think that's a problem for you. Come into your power. The time for action is now! Exclamation point. Ask Ganesha, the Hindu elephant god, for help. I think it's a great read. I hope you found some little messages here, little pieces of ideas, confirmations, clarifications, affirmations, something you can use along with other things you're thinking about already. Keep your eyes open for other signs and signals. When you come here to tarot, you get messages. You definitely get messages. In our normal life, we get messages all the time, but they can go by us without us seeing them. Dreams, and we forgot the dreams. Or we get a warning, something happens, something small, something we probably should pay attention to, but we're distracted, too busy, and we don't. I suggest you try to do those things and other things. Keep your eyes open at all times. Use your intuition. But when you come here, you get a reading, you're definitely going to get some things to think about. Okay, thanks again. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Love you all.